It's taken its time, hasn't it? But now Caroline Flack's mother has come out and confirmed that the problem is with ITV. I think she's partly right. I think it's equally with the government. I think the ITV and the government are both significantly more culpable than Phillip Schofield. Phillip Schofield, as she points out, one should be sympathetic. He's lost his job. He's lost his career. He's lost his world. I think that's enough. I think that's enough for anybody. She's absolutely right. Poor man. But she criticizes the tabloid press. The tabloid press is just monstrous. And all it's interested in is the juicy gossip, and it hasn't stood back and thought, what's behind this? What's behind this is the manipulation of power, the manipulation by production, the manipulation by producers, the failure to look at reality, the failure to look at people's lives, the desperation to poke and prod. And in videos like the Caricatona video, it's Phillip Schofield being prompted by the person speaking in his ear, which is as culpable as the, quote, bullying. Whether he's a bully or not is not confirmed by that bit of video. That's somebody telling him what to ask. And this is partly the problem. Schofield is the fall guy for these invisible people in production. But the government had every opportunity to bring this under control and to deal with this as an issue. And it ducked that opportunity in 2019 by stopping the DCMS committee hearing. Now, I've been writing again and again and again to the various secretaries of state for the digital culture, media and sport: Oliver Dowden, Nadine Dorries, Liz Fraser and Michelle Donnellan. And all of them have been, here you are. All of them have been dismissive of my letters. And I will persist. I will continue, because of course, in one sense, this is a frippery. But that's because we're looking at the icing on the cake rather than the cake itself. The cake itself is important. The cake itself is about what we put on our television and the pressures that we put on people who are entertaining us. It's unfair, it's unrealistic, and it leads to tragedy. And I think Phillip Schofield's story is tragic. I think Caroline Flack's story is tragic. But there are many other tragic stories of people whose lives have been destroyed by the desperation of production to get its thing done. It steamrollers over people. And it doesn't matter whether these people are professionals or whether these people are ordinary people who are dragged into the system. Ordinary people dragged into the system, they don't even have the protections that professionals have. They don't have agents. They're not unionized. But even with those, it may not be enough. What was the first thing that Phillip Schofield suffered? His agent dropped him. Why? This is the time when he needs an agent. And they said he was lying. That's what he does for a living. Grow up, you silly, silly people. Artists and performers lie for a living. They're not telling the truth when they get up on stage and claim to be Hamlet or King Lear or Ophelia. They're lying for a living. That's called acting. It's just an extension of that lie. And this is one reason, incidentally, why in the early church there was a movement against performance and against acting, because it was all about deceit. We need to find truth. There is truth in performance, there is truth in entertainment, but it's sometimes difficult to identify because there is also so much deceit as part of the job. And part of the job that Phillip Schofield was doing was pretending all these ideas he was coming out with were his. Maybe it went to his head. The same thing with Caroline Flack. Maybe it went to her head too. And these people have real lives as well, and they should be cared for and protected, because those real lives are now exposed. It's because people can't tell the difference between the reality and the performance, and nor can the performers. And when you cross from the entertainment sector into personal life, it's very difficult to get back. You've surrendered your life, you've surrendered your control to the entertainment industry. And that's what happens to people on reality TV as well. People lose control, they lose their agency, they lose their ability to make decisions and to filter things, probably. And that's why they need so much help. And giving further control to production, to organise psychiatric support is laughably stupid. What we need to do is to make sure that the moment production is over, people who are performing on television are taken over by professionals who can help them away from production. But, Phillip Schofield had no life away from production. Caroline Flack had no life away from production. Production dominated their lives. And that is the problem. And it's something, as I say, the government could have sorted out, and the government didn't. The government ducked its responsibility. If a government ducks its responsibility, the government is making a mistake. The government is in error. And so I hold the government responsible for this. I hold the Department of Digital Culture, Media and Sport responsible for this. And I'd be interested to know what you think.